Blade is the new Flash.
Is it a movie?
Is it a movie? Is it ever actually going to happen? It's been 4 years since Kevin Feige walked out on stage with two-time Academy Award-winning actor Mahershala Ali and announced that he was going to be Blade in the MCU and all that kind of stuff. And we are sitting here today now in 2023. Granted, there was this little thing called the pandemic, but we are still sitting here in 2023, and they have not started shooting this movie. They have not started shooting this movie.
They haven't finished writing this movie.
Now, no worries, because they said they're going to start shooting at the end of May. Well, farts to that, because that ain't going to happen either. Because just recently they had hired on a brand new writer like 3 weeks before they were supposed to start shooting. And then the very next day, a little writer strike happened. And that ain't happening now. This comes from the folks over at the Hollywood Reporter who write this. The writer's strike has taken a bite out of Blade. Marvel Studio is shutting down pre-production on its vampire thriller starring Mahershala Ali, which was set to begin filming next month in Atlanta. The feature project, which has been paused once before, yeah, don't forget that, they had paused production on this before, becomes the first tentpole movie impacted by the strike. Cast and crew members are being notified this afternoon. Blade had recently hired True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto to work on the script, but according to an insider, time simply ran out. The studio will restart the production once the strike is over. Okay, so I remember when they announced that they hired this guy. I'm like, okay, first of all, great writer, fantastic writer. But they're supposed to start shooting this movie in less than a month. And then once we got wind that they were not going to be able to reach a deal, the writers and the producers were not going to be able to reach a deal, and that a strike was coming, we're like, well, that's going to totally foobar this end of May production start date for Blade. And so sure enough, it has. And guess what? It ain't the first bump in the road. Let's look at this little timeline, shall we? Again, back in 2019, 4 years ago, they announced the movie. Then in 2020, they hired Bassem Tariq to direct. Sorry, not going to happen because 2 years later, he left over quote unquote creative differences. In 2022, they also announced they were completely trashing the script and starting from scratch. Apparently, Mahershala Ali and many others were very unhappy with the script at that point. In 2022, they just ran up the white flag and said, look, we're just stopping development on this for now. We got to get our ducks in an order. Then in 2023, Yann Demange was brought on to direct the film. Also, now in 2023, and then in 2023, the film was delayed from November 2023 to September of 2024. Great. Well, guess what? That might move again because now production is halted again. And listen, if they're halting the production, starting production on this movie because of the writer's strike, I got news for you. We don't know how long this writer's strike is going to last. And the longer this goes, it creates more complications because the longer this writer strikes goes, more and more projects are going to get bumped, shuffled, moved around, and they may go, okay, writer strike is over. Let's say, I don't know, God forbid, it's 3 months from now.
Just like last time.
I know. God forbid. But if it's 3 months from now, they might go, okay, writer strike is done. Let's get moving. Well, now half your crew is like, we got prior commitments. I mean, so it just could create a lot of stuff. I am not saying the September 2024 release date for Blade is off the table, but I'm saying it's in jeopardy. And it could just be the next thing. I wonder if at any point Kevin Feige just goes, the fault's in our stars. This is not to be. We are cursed. This movie just isn't going to happen. I don't think that's the case. Obviously, I don't think that's the case. But man, this is a growing laundry list. Anyway, Chris, you hear about this, no big surprise. We predicted that when they announced the writer's strike that there was no way they're going to be able to start shooting, considering they just brought on a new writer. But you hear about this. Is this your new Flash? Is this movie going to happen? What's the biggest problem here? What's used the biggest red flag? What do you think?
Oh man, this is my new Flash. I'm so heartbroken about it too because I love Blade. But yeah, this has just had so many false starts that I have so little hope in this iteration of this film being made. And I don't know how much longer Mahershala Ali can be attached to it. You know, it's going to involve a lot of action. He's got a very, very busy schedule. He is such a sought-after actor. Two-time Academy Award winner.
Two-time.
I mean, he can't just be waiting in the wings for this movie to happen. He needs to have other projects happening, right? And time is money for anybody, but particularly as an actor, you have such a tight schedule for what you can and can't do, right?
Time is money. That's a lot of Europussies they're losing.
That's like over 20 trillion Euro pussies. Yes.
So many. And there were articles this morning, too. I was reading in the Hollywood Reporter and over on Deadline and everything, too. Just some more information about how the writer's strike is going to be affecting things should it continue on for longer than we hope. If it is like last time where it lasts for several months, of movies going into hiatus, television going into hiatus, these sorts of things, right? And it also is coming at a time where people are now starting to look at executives' compensation and wondering, hey, why are these executives being paid so much money, whereas they're not making these demands of the writers? It's all getting really, really ugly. And the biggest loss, too, is that we're all going to not have the entertainment that we all want and deserve, right? But it's coming at a time now where now not only are more common movie fans going, hey, that movie still isn't coming out. It's now adding to everyone looking at the strike. More people, my parents, some other people who I know who aren't in the industry are asking me more questions about, hey, I read this article about this happening or this person getting this kind of compensation. It's all kind of snowballing into this horrible cacophony for executives too of, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing? Because it seems like a lot of missteps have been made. Now, obviously, Blade has suffered a death of 1,000 cuts. It has had so many problems prior to this strike happening, but it really does bring to light a lot of the other issues that are happening in Hollywood that the writer's strike is exacerbating. And I really hope everyone gets their poop in a group, because the longer this all takes, the more and more people are going to fall down that rabbit hole of doom scrolling and finding out more and more things about what's going wrong with all of these productions.
One other thing that'd be interesting to point out too here, when Mahershala Ali was brought out on stage and Kevin Feige announced that he was the new Blade, he was 45 years old. And at the time, while everybody loves Mahershala Ali, at the time you saw the conversations online. Is he maybe a little bit on the older side to be starting a brand new franchise, right? Starting a brand new franchise. Is 45 maybe a little bit old to start a brand new superhero franchise? Well, that was then. He's 49 now. So we're in the months that are counting down to when he turns 50. So, and now we're getting a 49-year-old Mahershala Ali that is starting, hopefully, a brand new franchise. So I don't know.
I remember when he was on the Trevor Noah show and they were about to start shooting, and he was saying, yeah, he's been training for 2 months. He's very excited. He got blessings from Wesley Snipes.
How long ago was that?
I want to say it was before because they were in studio. It was right before the pandemic.
Okay.
So I don't know. I hope it's not too late for the two-time, baby.
Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, it's not a big surprise. They just hire a new writer, and then the writer strike happens the next day. They're not going to be able to start production at the end of May. Now it's officially on pause. How long will this pause be? Even when the writer strikes ends, will this cause a scheduling mess that's going to delay it even more? Can they make that September 2024 release date? I don't think so. Is Mahershala Ali maybe getting too old to start a brand new franchise? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, MasterClass. With MasterClass, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. You can learn filmmaking from James Cameron himself, you know, the guy who made 3 of the 4 biggest films of all time. Improve your writing by taking screenwriting from one of the greatest who's ever done it, Aaron Sorkin. Or maybe learn how to make great comedic content by taking comedy by the one and the only Judd Apatow. And many of you guys know I'm a big poker guy, and I recently got a chance to sit down and watch Daniel Negreanu, one of the greatest poker players in the world, teach poker. It was absolutely fantastic. But guys, whatever you're interested in, there is a class for you with over 180 exclusive classes taught by the instructors you know and love. And you can explore lessons in any order you'd like, across your phone, tablet, Apple TV, computer, and on the go with audio mode. Individual lessons range from about 10 to 15 minutes in length that fit easily into your everyday life. Guys, I highly recommend you check it out. Get unlimited access to every class, and as a John Campea Show listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/Campea now. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off Masterclass.